In this video, I'm showing you how to assemble the piece about the geosphere. Let me show you an example of that. This is the handwritten version, but I've given you the printable version of these questions. Personally, I think it's very good for students to draw the table and learn about the rows and the columns that make up a table. But I have given you this to help expedite your process if you want it. This is the anchor piece that we're looking at, and I'll show you how to assemble this. It's actually adhered by the green layer. That's the part that's stuck to the book. Got the title on here, and I've used vocabulary that I wanted my students to learn. I brought some geometry into this lesson, teaching them about diameters, also about the tilt of the earth, approximately 23 degrees on its axis, so that you can see this is perfectly straight, 90 degrees straight up, and then the tilt of the earth is actually about 23 degrees. So this is a very good lesson to bring in some geometry if you are so inclined. But this is the piece we're working on. One of the biggest challenges you will find, at least in my experience, is the folding part of this. If you're allowing students to cut these out, as they're cutting them out, I would talk about diameter and even radius. You could have them fold the piece in half to see a diameter. You could have them fold it into fourths to see a radius, or actually a radius this way and a radius this way. But the challenge for these, because there's printing here, is to get that diameter fold exactly in the right place. So what I would strongly recommend, and hopefully you can see in this piece how many times I've folded it, so there are diameters going all over the place. If you want to get this fold right the first time, this is a strategy. Let me use this one. Lay the piece down the way you want it to be. Get it perfectly straight the way you want it to be. For example, I would not want South America pointing off this way. You want it to be exactly how it should be. Put your ruler down there on the line where the diameter should be, and fold it. And that'll give you a crease line for students to fold on. In my experience, if you don't do this, you will probably be reprinting these, because eventually they will look like this one, because they're folding it, trying to get it right. This one's a little bit easier than this one, because the printing is sitting there. So if you just randomly fold it, you're gonna get printing that may look like this. So that when your fold is going this way, but the printing is not. So this is a good learning opportunity to teach them about diameters, that diameters can go in all directions as long as they're passing through the center. And it also lets them get familiar with the diameter that they want. I want this diameter, the one that is running this way, because that's where I want my fold to be. You could even talk about symmetry here, and that this is a line of symmetry. This is the line of symmetry that I need for this piece. So I would recommend starting with folding all of those. You don't have to. If your students are just beginning, I probably would not get into that. You want a series of concentric circles. Talk to them about what the word concentric means. Centric means circular. Con is with, so with circular symmetry. But you want to stack those pieces up, and they should look something like this. You want your crust to be the thinnest, your mantle to be the widest. And you can see how this text is peeking out of there. If I don't get them lined up exactly right, that is going to happen. And so you get all of these in order, and you have the piece assembled. Put the cover on there, and you have the layers. what I did, I secured this piece completely to the page. So I put glue all over it and stuck it down. And then I brought in this piece, I folded it in half. I put glue on the back of the left side only, just this side, and lined up the folds, lined it up. Elmer's is very forgiving, or school glue. It will allow you to shift and get things lined up. And then I came in with this piece, glue on the left side, lined it up, glue on the left side, lined it up, glue on the left side, lined it up. And I think I would advise that you do this before you stick it down, but you could do it either way. I think I would prefer to go ahead and get it all put together and then stick this whole piece down onto the page so that you get something that looks like this. This is adhered. The Pacific Ocean is stuck to the page so that you can flip through your layers. And then this is adhered to the page. We don't want that to come up. That leaves you plenty of room to go in with notes and things that you want. And then I had them to use those notes to complete this page. And I will walk you through that in the video lesson that goes with this. The grammar rule for this one, we talked about capital letters where appropriate. Earth can be capitalized or not. I got that from a professor of astronomy. So usually if I'm using the word the in front of it, I do not capitalize it. If I'm using it just as a noun on its own, I do. But that's just my personal preference. The grammar rule is commas in a series. Also, we're talking about do not capitalize the seasons. So I used a question over here to bring in that information about the seasons. Not only do we have science information, we have the language mechanics part. Again, I would always go to the front of my book, put in the table of contents, the things that you want your students to know. I will record this lesson video for you or your students, and that will be coming soon. Have a good day.